according to lendingtree.com, if you want to start doing it based off of your credit score, which we can talk about that scam. It gets pretty disastrous. It goes from 6 to 22.
Yeah, you only get to see the number for people with 800s, right?
Right, so, right.
Yeah, you get to see that number for free.
if you have perfect, stellar, absolutely,
yes.
Amazing credit, this is what you're going to get.
Yeah.
But you, no, not you.
You don't actually get to point at me. I do have a perfect credit score.
All right. But there you go.
I've got one thing going for me. Somehow.
That's nice. Do we ever really know what we're talking about?
Debatable. So real-time follow-up, not real-time follow-up, slow follow-up. I've heard from a little birdie that the next AIA conference is actually going to be Los Angeles, not Philadelphia.
No. It is Philadelphia first.
Oh, okay.
Then it will be Los Angeles.
Oh, interesting. Which is still, like you said, probably too far away from me.
Yeah. You know how it ping pongs back and forth between East Coast, West Coast, East Coast, West Coast.
You're right. Now that I think about it, that did say 28 or something like that. So
what's the
LA 28, West Coast, Best Coast. So we've got what's the version of East Coast for that? Is there East Coast, Beast Coast? What is it?
Oh, it's just East Coast, meaning that we've got like all of the history and,
No, like what's your call sign though? Come on. Like you don't know. What kind of East Coaster are you? Oh my gosh.
That's true.
So yeah, they ping pong back and forth and that makes sense. Okay, so it's gonna be Bloods. Look at you. Gangster Cormac over here. So you have a very gangster sounding name. Cormac Phalen, yes.
Yeah, that's very gangster. Maybe it's gangster in like the potato famine from Ireland or something.
Right. So LA 28, same as the Olympics. Oh, like LA's firing on all cylinders, aren't they?
Wait. Summer Olympics in
LA 28, right? I believe so.
Oh my Lord, that's going to be a nightmare in LA if they're even remotely close to the same.
What are you talking about?
I mean, just being in LA in its own right.
In LA.
No. There's nothing that could. All right, so now I'm going to have to look this up.
Well, here's the interesting thing. They're not, from what I understand, LA is not building any new venues either. So,
why should they,
unlike, I think this is a good idea, because especially when you've only got a couple of years left. But that was a interesting decision that I think most cities think they have to, right?
The
build
thing that
new stuff.
I will say this, the thing that I did love about the U.S. hosting, basically North America, but, predominantly the games were held in U.S. venues. But the U.S. hosting the World Cup they used all of our, stadiums that were already, built for, and around. So there didn't have to be like this purpose-built, venue, kind of like what we had with, in Dubai, when we had it in, Brazil, and they were like mowing down, rainforests and stuff to build these things. And and then it was just like, this would be the only time that it would ever really be used because of the area that they put it in. And that was the thing that I did appreciate about the fact that we already had 1,001 stadiums for stuff. Which one do you want to choose? I mean, even my university hosted a World Cup event. One of the early friendly games. They had, Argentina played at Auburn University. So
nice.
That was actually pretty cool that we have those things.
The LA area has lots of venues to be used, right? But it will also mean that it is very spread out. So
the thing that I love about the opening ceremony, because I'm looking at it right now, is in the LA Memorial Coliseum, which for those of you who know LA Memorial Coliseum, Rose Bowl, whatever you want to call it,
No, those are two different things. Those
oh,
are
yeah.
two
Sorry,
different
you're right. I just
Real time
the word came right out of my mouth. And you're like, no, dummy, they're different. But LA Memorial Coliseum was built for an Olympics.
It was. Well, yeah. Like when? In the 60s?
Isn't like the...
Where's Wikipedia when you need it?
I'm about to find out right now. Quick. It was
We'll
built,
put the Jeopardy theme music up during this part.
LA Memorial Coliseum was opened in May 1st, 1923.
Okay. And it was built for the Olympics, huh?
And it was built for, if Wikipedia would hurry up, Exposition
this information
Park.
was supposed to be at your fingertips. Come on.
I know, right? It was built as part of the Exposition Park. This is not fast. This is not what but it has hosted. So it hosted 1932, 1984, and
Oh, that's
32
right.
and 84.
The 84 Olympics, Mary Lou Retton, right? She was the star in my young years.
According to this,
years.
It was commissioned in 1921 as a memorial to the Los Angeles veterans of World War I. Which was kind of interesting that there's across, this would be something that, for like maybe a nerd history lesson later on down the road when we actually do some research instead of just reading it on the fly on Wikipedia. But, there was a lot of different war memorials created, both after World War I and World War II. And some of them were created as like stadiums.
A thing, like a venue, a place like a venue. You would go. Like, not just weird. A standing memorial kind of a
right
thing. Yeah, that's interesting.
Every time I see the Memorial Coliseum, I always just think of like chariot races because of the way it's designed.
Yeah, right. I've actually never been there for anything. I have been to the Rose Bowl, which is like we'll say it again, a different place, not the same place.
Yes.
I've been so I saw U2 play at the Rose Bowl. That's my Rose Bowl Hall of Fame, and I've gone to swap meets there, so that's a fun thing. Which
tour?
Oh, that was probably what came after the Elevation tour. What was the? Yeah, where's Wikipedia when you need it? Because I saw the Elevation tour back then it was like the Honda Arena. It was more of an arena tour. It wasn't a stadium tour. And so they went back to the stadium tour after that. And that's when I went to the Rose Bowl.
So I went to the Joshua Tree tour.
Yeah, I missed that one, man. That's a bummer for me. It also shows how old you are. So
it does show how old I am. And let's see. And I went to the Zoo TV tour.
Oh.
Elevation tour. That would have been the Vertigo tour.
Yeah. Okay. So then what's after that one? Is that what you're saying? The Vertigo tour
is after Elevation, and after Vertigo is the U2 360 tour.
Yeah.
Which one did you go to?
I want to say it was the Vertigo tour. I think it was Vertigo. Yeah. And who opened for them? I want to say, okay, so like this is back in the Elevation tour. I think it was No Doubt of all bands, right? Local band to the Anaheim, which is where they were playing, which I think was kind of interesting. And then at the Rose Bowl, it was the Black Eyed Peas opened for them. They always have a very different kind of opening act. And not just the Black Eyed Peas, but the Black Eyed Peas did a cover song of Welcome to the Jungle by the Guns N' Roses. The Guns N' Roses.
Guns N' Roses.
Not Guns N' Roses. The Guns N' Roses. And Slash was in the Black Eyed Peas playing the guitar solo, of course. So that was super fun.
The Zoo TV tour that I went to, and it was Big Audio Dynamite and Public Enemy.
Oh, nice. See, yeah, I like what they do there. I like they. And this was unexpected, right?
So I'm going to tell you. So this was Birmingham, Alabama, at Legion Field in Birmingham, Alabama. Stadium when Public Enemy was coming out, Stadium goes dark. You guys can look it up. If you don't believe me, you guys can look it up.
Is it on video? Is it on YouTube? It might
be. I don't know. I mean, this was 92, so
YouTube wasn't around yet, but somebody might have had their camcorder with them.
Somebody might have had their camcorder out. So then a spotlight shines up into basically the rigging up above the stage, and slowly but surely this figure starts like lowering down from the rafters, and once you see what it is, you're just like, holy shit.
Oh, I think you've told me about this before.
I think it was a hung Klansman.
Yeah. Making a statement. That's how you open. That's how you open your act.
And that's how you open your act in Birmingham, Alabama. Basically making the statement saying, "We see you. We know who you are." It was so incredible. And
it was. You just stunned everybody in the crowd from the beginning. Everybody was in shock.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. So I'm looking at their the main set list, and then there was like 4 encores.
The internet as an archive machine. I mean, I think it's kind of getting ruined, but it is kind of cool. Like that's a thing. It's actively being ruined right now by AI because it's just making shit up.
Well, I will say one thing. It did remind me when it's just like I couldn't remember when exactly did I go to the Joshua Tree tour. And thankfully, u2tours.com here can tell me that when they came to Tampa, Florida, was in the 3rd leg. I'm looking here. What am I blanking on?
Yeah, it's like actually more information than you need.
So
what leg of the tour was it?
I was 17 years old. It was December 5th, 1987. I was 17. Tampa, Florida, at Tampa Stadium. Dang. That's when I went to that
the rock and roll show.
The rock and roll show.
Nice. Very cool.
But this is actually, if you're interested, just actually go to u2tours.com. And what they've got is what they also have is like what releases were represented, for that particular thing. It's got links to all the different, like either videos or whatever. And, that would be, it's kind of cool. I mean, for, a very generic looking, thing. So
all of this to say, the AIA 28 is going to be back in Los Angeles.
Yes. And so back to it's the Olympic Games Open. Opening ceremony is July 14th, 2028.
Okay, so this will be before that. They're usually in June.
Yeah, so it's at both LA Memorial Coliseum and SoFi Stadium. And see, that's the thing is like with, SoFi now being there, as well as the Coliseum, as well as the Rose Bowl, as well as all of the university venues and things like that. Does LA really need to build new facilities?
Well, they have
for
built.
This?
Yeah, they have built. Like SoFi is not that old. So this is an interesting. I guess this is the episode of Random Facts because that's where we're at so far. I just saw something recently. I didn't know this about SoFi, and I've seen some really cool talks about SoFi and about how they did the dome. And like I went to a facades conference and they talked about the dome. It was very cool.
Yeah.
And it's not a fully enclosed dome. It's got a big hole in the middle.
Right.
But did you know that stadium is sunk 100 feet? That's what I read. So I haven't fact checked this.
I think one time when I was out in the area and had driven past it, the thing about some of these, so if you go and look at the Meadowlands in New York, that looks, it sits at grade and, it sits up so high, it looks monstrous.
Yeah.
But then you look at some of these like SoFi and it doesn't look as imposing because it's actually lowered into the ground, which, makes a lot of sense if you can do it.
Look at this. Wikipedia has a dark mode. It's fantastic. I didn't know that. That's great. Okay, so back on Wikipedia. This is our companion.
Everybody, if you're listening, please pull up Wikipedia and you can follow along.
Yeah, so HKS. Let's make this architectural. HKS is the architect of record for this. And it's so the canopy is made up of 302 ETFE panels, and 46 of them can be open to provide ventilation. Okay, I didn't know that. I thought they were open the whole time. But the interesting thing about, we'll get back to the 100-foot thing in a minute. It's a cable net, okay? And I think interesting, like this was a structural presentation about that and how they figured this out. But did you know, like because of thermal expansion and contraction, like the cable net is the solution. It actually just sits on top of the structure. It's not fastened to the structure. I'm sure it goes through, guides, but it just sits there, and like a tennis racket in different climates would feel more tension or less, just depending on how much moisture's in the air or whatever. That's kind of the idea behind this roof, is that it expands and contracts, and you can actually, I guess, hear those cables kind of moving across the structure sometimes because they're moving, right? They're not tied down.
It's sort of creating kind of like this thermal reactive umbrella.
Yeah,
that hovers over the top of you.
That's how they should have described it. Thermal. Write that down and trademark that. You should buy thermalreactiveumbrella.com right now, while you still can. Register the domain.
And that's going to be the episode name too.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so it has a 70,000 spectator capacity for most events, and so coming back to this 100-foot sunkenness, do you know why it is? Because like if you drive by it on the freeway, it's a low slung, like it doesn't appear like other stadiums, right? Other stadiums are sitting on top of the ground and they're enormous, and this is 100 feet down. It's because of LAX. It's because of the flight path.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, honestly, that makes sense. I mean, one of the interesting things about, let's just throw Camden Yards baseball stadium for the Baltimore Orioles. It's kind of bowled into the surrounding ground. Doesn't seem as high as other baseball stadiums. And in a way, when you're inside and you're kind of like staring out, some of the locations where you're sitting, like say at like the second tier deck or the upper deck, it doesn't feel like you're way, way up in the sky. You're actually like more, you're closer to street level than otherwise. Mm-hmm. That looks a little bit more rigid than a thermal reactive umbrella. I gotta get in there again. I always thought it was very interesting because you're right. It's kind of feels like it's an open air, stadium and everything. Mm-hmm. Since we're shouting out, architects and all that other stuff, we might as well go ahead and shout out John and Donald Parkinson, who were the original designers of the Coliseum.
Oh, okay.
And then DLR Group did the renovations.
All right. Shout out. Look at these LA architects.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. Yeah, so you're going to do another cross-country road trip to LA and
now I'm going to have to figure it. He did. No. I'll if I go, I'll fly. No. Not gonna, I mean,
here's what we should do, Cormac. I'll go to the East Coast ones, and you don't.
Okay.
You go to the West Coast ones, and I don't. And we're like ships passing in the night every other year. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, we'll just miss each other at each event. We'll represent the podcast, but just one of us, and we never have to see each other in person.
I had a conversation with somebody in our office who she works on a couple of different volunteer stuff for the AIA, and both the AIA and the conference. And we were kind of lamenting the fact that it's just like, yes, Philly did just have one. LA, I think it's been a while since LA had one, right?
I don't remember the last time there was. Oh, it was supposed to happen during COVID, but it didn't.
Oh, okay.
It got canceled. Yeah.
Okay. But it just seemed as if, there's other cities that we can start to, showcase. I don't know if anybody's ready for Detroit yet, which I don't know why.
Is it the AIA's not ready for Detroit, or the people going aren't ready for Detroit? Who's they? Who's they?
I don't know who they is, but I mean, it would be really interesting to have a second, whatever you want to call it, a second tier city or whatever, hosting one of those.
What's the attendance like now? I've read widely varying numbers this year. I read somebody posted like 6,000 and somebody else posted 15. And I want to say, it probably can't be that hard to find venues that host that many people.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They've got to be in more places than the 8 cities that the
according to this,
according to Wikipedia.
According to, AI overview.
Okay.
It surpassed 13,000 architects and design professionals.
Okay.
For the 2026.
I thought six sounded super low, but 15, I mean, that might include all of the event people and vendors and everything. I don't know. So I'm more interested in the attendance by architects than
well, what's funny is that the Boston says 13,000. The AIA 2024, which was in DC, was 13,000.
It's the exact same 13,000 people. Keep going.
Yeah, exactly. Let me go to 23. 15,000 people in San Francisco.
Okay, so here's a question for you. Let's look at the current state of the economy and hiring and layoffs and, just inside baseball kind of stuff with, the Billings Index and stuff. You keep your eye on that, right? So what do you think that does? Because we're definitely in kind of, a downward trend, right?
We are right now.
We are in a downward trend. And so what does that do for events like this? I think that also puts the brakes on attendance because it costs money. It costs quite a bit of money to go to these things.
And the interesting thing about that is I think, this was even something that was discussed as with one of our friends of the show and our friend, Evelyn, last year's AIA president, talking about how much money people spend for the conference and traveling to the conference and everything else, and the bang for the buck, plus also our memberships and all of this other stuff, and how very out of skew that is with the reality of what's going on in the profession. So you bring up a good point. Is like, where is the job markets right now? Where is I'm looking right now. It's like career competence.
Billings Index. Yeah. Good call.
And
we're doing lots of real time info searching today. We don't normally do this. I mean, this is kind of a completely different show.
This is like we actually have like focus on architecture type stuff.
Well, kinda. You can subscribe to the AIA Deltek ABI, the Architecture Billings Index, for $384 a year.
You got that. You got there quicker than I did.
Jeez.
Because that is a weird bedfellow there with old Deltek, and now that I think, doesn't Deltek own the specs now?
Yeah. What is it? I can't remember the name. It's not Spec. Is it Spec Link? I don't know. It doesn't matter. So a friend of the show, Jeff Potter, won't like that, but who works there. But Deltek had, because they do the time sheets, they do lots of firms are running on their software. They have, I would assume, I don't mean to say like they're grabbing everybody's information, but they do have some insight into that side of the story. I'm sure they have a way to, survey their people out there, their users, to get that kind of information. So, yes. Yeah. So from, every once in a while you'll see a screenshot of the chart, the graph go in a certain direction. It'll show up on LinkedIn or something, and and that'll give everybody kind of a clue, but it doesn't have all the depth of the report.
Right. Yeah, I was trying to find a more current.
I have a very clicky keyboard.
You do. What I'm finding right now, unfortunately, is all data from the past year and not anything current. But what's interesting is it shows like the downward trend as of December. The ABI score, December 2025 was 48.5, and I can only just assume that it has trended south from there because we're seeing it in the practice.
So yeah, I'm looking at this chart that I found on LinkedIn, and it just says that firm billings remain soft. So billings are,
can attest,
they're either above 50 or below 50, and a score of 50 means what? I don't know exactly. But it hasn't been above 50 in a year. So yeah. May it was down quite a bit, and in June it was still down. But the blue line, design contracts, did go up in June. So anyway, I there's, what's the word? The word is uncertainty. This is what everybody keeps saying.
The word is definitely uncertainty. Yeah. The word is definitely uncertain.
Billings remain weak at architecture firms, according to the AIA in July 22nd of this year, which is only 2 days ago as of this recording. So
you get.
So it says that the ABI was 47.3. So it's higher than the May score, but still soft.
Yeah, May score was 44.5.
Yeah, it says it was June, 3 points higher. So, yeah.
And with the big bold headline says, business conditions worsened at architecture firms in May.
There you go.
Yeah.
Can you attest to that?
I can attest to that, yes.
Yeah.
And I can attest that to like several different firms with other friends that I know who, are just feel worried, feel, that going back to that job, the job confidence, which seems very low.
Yeah.
And it is below 50% for their job confidence. So, I mean, the whole thing right now, is very worrisome. And it's as we know, current economic conditions aren't really helpful in all of that. There's the scare of things like tariffs and things like that. Then what's the impact on the building construction industry and the building materials and the availability of the building materials? Because people will, very, very similar to what, conditions that we saw during COVID, where, people would either, because of, certain economic things back then, were just closing shops down. But now everybody's like making a run on purchasing things to lock in prices now, which, basically puts the stress on the manufacturers because they're trying to buy, they're trying to sell things that they haven't built yet.
Oh, wow.
And so that's a, a crazy concern in its own right. And then you see this like, oh, well, if everybody's, out here rushing to buy things, then obviously we've got something for them. We can still say, yeah, you can buy it. But remember when I said it was going to cost you $15,000? Well, now it's going to be $50,000, and it's still going to take you X amount of time to get it, or it's going to take you longer to get it. You're like, well, crap, it can only go up higher. And so, we'll go ahead and pay this massive premium, but you're still not going to get it any faster.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you can feel it in really normal ways too. For example, my wife and I went to Trader Joe's the other day just to pick up a few things. Literally at checkout, it was half of a bag of groceries. Half of a bag of groceries was $50. Half a bag. It used to be like you could basically estimate like a full bag of groceries was like $25.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And at the end, because you could say, okay, there was 4 bags of groceries, it was $100. Now it's half a bag for $50. Yeah. Obviously, it depends what you're buying, right? But things have gone up. I bought a slide for a drawer in my refrigerator 1 year ago, and it's already failed. I went back to look to see how much I paid for it and how much it's going for now. It was $21. Now it's $31. 1 year, same part, probably made at the same time, right? Not even. This is just inflation.
It's just
that's
exactly
just inflation.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I mean, I went to, we've got a graduation party coming up for the girl who went on the long road drive with me, and so we went to Costco.
Woman.
She is. She's my child, so always going to be my baby. But now I will admit that I don't necessarily, shop at Costco too much. But this was just one cart, and it was just filled with food. It was filled with food.
But those are big carts. Let's be honest.
They are big.
They're
carts.
Costco carts.
Do you want to venture a guess?
$300.
You said close to 500. You're right. And it wasn't like it's just like what extravagance did we put in here?
Yeah.
And you're looking at it and you're just like, there's no extravagance here. And it's just in just since we joined Costco, which hasn't been that long, to now, I mean, the cost increase of just some normal things that we've, purchased there over the year have gone up, pretty dramatically. I mean, hell, my go-to, which, here in my own personal opinion, here is my metrics for inflation and the impact on inflation is Aldi. I love going to Aldi. Aldi's, very, very inexpensive.
Dude, remember that Aldi that we went to in Boston? Oh my goodness.
That was a wasn't that like the first time you've been to an Aldi?
No, it wasn't. That's why I was so shocked.
Oh my gosh, that Aldi looked like a war zone.
It looked like a war zone. Yeah, thank you.
I mean,
is it Jake's? Yeah,
it was. That was an experience, and then some. But
okay, so you love going to Aldi. How much?
But love going to Aldi, and I can say that I could fill a grocery. I used to be able to fill a full grocery cart at Aldi. For roughly around like $200, and we're $2 to maybe $250, and we're talking about like a whole lot of bags completely filled. And more recently, it's been in the $350 range, and you're just like, this is insane, because like people are using Aldi as like the cost effective shopping to be able to go and get food, and when even Aldi's becoming not cost effective. I mean, there's something wrong with it, and that's the impact that we're seeing on even, on our industry, because
what's the most recent like mortgage interest rates?
Oh my gosh.
Let's go look at Bankrate. Bankrate.com. That's a good, solid website to go look at. We are at 30-year fixed, 6.74%. Yep.
6.74%.
Yeah. Man.
I was looking to see because so a lot of times people will use, in my position, able to use, the VA-backed, mortgage loan for a more affordable and lower rate. Mm-hmm. And their current rate right now is 6.8 to 6.36.
Wow.
And the standard conventional, I guess this makes sense, is 6.66. So yeah.
So they're pretty close. I said mine shows 6.74, which is even a little higher. And then, the sneaky way around this is like with auto loan rates, right? Now the rate you can pause it if you need to.
Yeah, okay, we'll pause it. Hey, I'm recording.
Where's your recording sign? You need to have a recording sign on. Come on, the red light.
Rochelle, I'm recording.
She didn't know.
No, she didn't.
All right, so let's see.
I thought they were gone. I didn't even hear them come back.
Yeah. What are auto loan rates right now? New car loan rates, I think 3.39. I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all.
No.
I don't believe that. Yeah, so the trick that I was seeing, right, with auto loan rates is like it used to be this percent for 3 to 5 years, but now it's just like defaults to 7 years to make it look like the car payment's affordable, right? So it's like 7 years. Everybody just pay a little longer.
Yeah. Gad. So, according to AI overview, it is 6.8 to 6.9 for a standard 60-month financing for new cars.
Yeah. Yeah.
With promotional or credit union rates starting as low as 4.5.
I mean, that's not unreasonable, but that's not 80s rates. 80s rates.
Well, now according to lendingtree.com, if you want to start doing it based off of your credit score, which we can talk about that scam, it gets pretty disastrous. It goes from 6 to 22.
Yeah, you only get to see the number for people with 800s, right?
Right,
so,
right.
Yeah, you get to see that number for free.
if you have perfect, stellar, absolutely,
yes.
Amazing credit, this is what you're going to get.
Yeah.
But you, no, not you.
You don't actually get to point at me. I do have a perfect credit score.
All right. Well, there you go.
I've got one thing going for me. Somehow.
That's nice. There you go.
Pay it off every month forever. Just do that.
Well, there you go. You're in the sixes.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, you got any architecture for the audience today? I don't think we do.
I don't know. I mean, we talked about some architecture, right?
We did.
Stadiums that housed
barely
stuff. Yeah, that's true. Whatever.
Barely.
Sometimes, you need to kind of just take your mind off of it.
I know. It's just good to have a regular conversation, right? That just goes wherever it goes. So, I mean, that's basically how this podcast works anyway, people.
Yeah. So what we're hoping for is to see all of you in Philadelphia.
Oh, are you making a commitment now?
Probably not, Evan, because he'll be cultivating his poison oak at that time of year. It is weird though. It is actually much earlier than it has been in the past, which is weird. It will be May 19th through the 22nd.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Which is
I'm going to put it on the calendar right now as we speak. May 19th.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So it is very odd to be that early, especially since, this is also, around the time of commencement time and other things.
Oh,
there's all sorts of stuff going on.
Right.
Wow. So I might as well go ahead and look up and see when the my commencement for the school I'm teaching at will be.
You have to go to those? You don't have to go to those.
I don't have to go to them, but I like going to them.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, they just put in a whole lot of,
Do you get to wear one of those fancy robes with all the extra decorations? Because you're a professor?
So funny enough, I could if I actually like let them, know in advance or something that I wanted to do that. But my favorite thing is actually like the last 2 times that I went, I stood kind of like on the path as they were like leaving, as the students are kind of like filing out. And, once they like catch me in the corner of their eye and stuff, and then they start like pointing at me and waving and all that other stuff. And that's so cool. It's just like,
you get to stand in that spot. That's a good spot.
I get to stand in that spot. So, I can't like, not do that. No, I'm still trying to figure out when the,
see if it collides.
It probably will.
It probably will. I mean, based on what you just said, and because you just jinxed it, it's going to be there at the same time. You're going to have to pick. Who's more important?
Students. I mean, that's easy. Because, it funny, it really does. It ends it ends in May. January through May for that one. And I'm looking to see if I can find it. No. That is 25, 26. Where's my music?
You're going to have to put that in yourself.
Dang it. Oh, it doesn't say when commencement in the spring is. Are you typing Cormac to add music?
Yep.
Cool. No, it doesn't say, but I guarantee it's probably going to be in the at the same time, which will really suck because we actually already there it is. There we are. Commencement. Oh, no, May 1st. Wow, that's early.
Oh, that's early.
That's way early.
Dang.
Because the classes start on the 11th of January, and the last one is April 30th. Interesting. Well, all right then. I guess I'll have to go to that.
You're going to have to be there.
You have to be there. So I can stop answering the question, where's Evan?
Okay, so back to this idea of like how much it costs to go to one of those. We don't even have to pay to get in, right? Because we're press. I want to say it still costs each one of us like $1,500 to go to that, to go to one that's somewhere, right? That's not in your own hometown, right? It's never going to be in my hometown. It's probably not going to be in your hometown. It's gonna so you're talking $1,500 just to go, and then you gotta, if you want to do all the other fun stuff, you gotta sign up for tours, and those cost money, and you gotta pay to get into the thing, and that costs money, and I mean you really could look at it as an expense versus an investment. So it is interesting what that show is competing with. It's competing with a lot of things in a lot of architects' minds, because a lot of architects look at that as an expense, or if they're going there to get their CEs, for example, or whatever.
It's a whole. They could get those CEUs for a heck of a lot cheaper than going to
or free. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So I don't know how they do it when the economy is the way that it is. It is more of a nice to have, not a need to have kind of a thing.
Right. And what will be interesting is to see after this year, this billing cycle this year, just see if there is the impact, because obviously you look at the, so I started looking at the past attendance and at least just what was published. And the biggest attendance was Chicago right after after COVID, when all of the restrictions started lifting. And of course, thanks, Chicago.
It's where I got COVID.
Exactly. I went through all the entire COVID, and both you and I got COVID from that.
Right.
Nasty architects. But that was because everybody was just looking to get out, and a good architectural city to go and visit.
It sure was. Yeah, it was great.
But and apparently, it's going to go back to New York as well after LA, which, you and I already know that. But anyway, so back to that, it peaked high and now it's sort of like going slowly back down, to kind of like they were around the 13,000 range. And that's like, all attendees and stuff. And so that's not necessarily just architects. So it would really be interesting to just isolate that by just architects. But, based off of, like right now, there was a strong billing index last year, so that if, people were still kind of like riding that, that's why, there was still the 13,000, and that, should get some accurate numbers, to be quite honest with you. But with this one, I think you're right. That, it will be very, very interesting to see, is, Philly an architectural draw, for people to go to? I mean, I think so. I like Philly, but that's just because, it's familiar to me. But,
I felt like I felt like it was a great draw architecturally. I mean, obviously there's a lot of historical stuff there, but there's a lot of great newer stuff as well, right? That we got to really spend some time at the Barnes Foundation, and there's many examples. Here's what my idea was, and I told this to my wife. She was actually interested in this, was, because she said, it would be really great if we took some of the kids and went to the East Coast and did like the whole, battlefield tour, the historical stuff. I said, well, the AIA conference is going to be in Philadelphia. Like, what if we had a reason to go, but then, combined all that and did that stuff? And she was actually interested in that. So we might do an extended trip next year if we can pull it off. I'm still going to throw in some asterisks because I'm not going to commit to anything. Yeah.
Should I fuel up the old 12-passenger van to give you guys tours?
Yeah, if you can be the tour guide, that would be amazing.
I would.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be very cool. So that's a possibility, I think, for us. We'll see how it works out.
And I know that, like, you and I have done it in the past, and many people have done it, and hooked up with a handful of people in this last one, where going to these, they try to make it more of an event, just above and beyond just the 3 days of the architecture convention, and try to like actually see more than that. Like, I know that there was probably some tours specifically to UC San Diego for the Sulk, but just doing some like really cool in-depth like campus tours would have been really cool, because like that was I went and toured the campus, and it's a really interesting and really nice campus. So interesting environmental responses from the buildings. There's just some cool stuff going on there.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Well, have we exhausted all of the things we could talk about instead of architecture?
All of the Wikipedia searches, I think we have. Thank you all for bearing with us.
Yeah, thank you.